Testing, testing.
What is going on, my peeps? And man, Versatile is back after hours with Versatile After Hours, a special episode. Yes, this is not the start of season 2, but it could be depending on how well you guys receive this. I know some people have been asking me to bring the podcast back, so I have been tempted to do so. And why not test the waters with talking about Samsung Galaxy's Unpacked event they had a couple weeks ago in regards to the new foldables, a new watch, and the I'm gonna say OnePlus, the Galaxy Buds 2. Now, if you guys don't know, this is a visual and audio podcast, so you, of course, if you want to just catch the audio version, you can catch it on your favorite podcast platform like Anchor, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and the like. And of course, if you're on YouTube checking out the visual podcast, of course, you get a little bit more in terms of production here with some, B-roll, some of the things that we talk about, you'll see some visuals for. So if you haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to either platform, the audio or visual or both, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell on both so that way you don't miss the podcast. Now, without further ado, let's jump in and let's talk about this Unpacked event. And I'm going to give I wouldn't say simple thoughts. I'm going to talk about some of the things I like, some of the things that might be concerns in terms of Samsung's direction. But overall, I do like and enjoy what they're doing with most of what we saw at the Unpacked event. Starting with the Galaxy Watch 4. Basically, the upgrade is that the Active series is now the official watch series. And then, of course, they have the Classic series running alongside it. So some of the leaks and speculations and rumors that I had talked about earlier about the Active 4 is actually the Watch 4. So we see that they have now combined their two watch series into one, unless we get an Active watch later, but I don't think so. I think Samsung's actually finding a way to minimize or simplify some of their products that they have, so that way not just us as consumers, but newer people to their ecosystem can choose something and not be confused as to what is what. We know that the Watch 4 series is going to be a little bit more on the active side, and then the Classic is more on the casual, dressy side, and I like both of them, right? So some of these the improvements or upgrades, additions to the Watch 4 series is the snoring blood oxygen measurements, I had it in my mind, but the BIA integration that measures body composition. So now, they showed the video of them essentially, taking their two fingers or like this and kind of creating a network, so that way it can read your body composition, and that's a way for you to kind of upkeep with what's going on inside your body. And I think that's actually pretty smart. We see that these type of fitness tracking tools are getting more and more accurate each year, or with each new iteration of a fit band or a fit watch or smartwatch or wearable nonetheless. So I like that aspect of the watch series. Also, they're keeping with the ECG included in both of the watches, and they're releasing August 27th. Of course, you can pre-order now. The Galaxy Watch 4 starts at $249 and the Classic starts at $349. So, about $100 difference. I wasn't expecting that. Now, of course, I like the Classic. The Classic looks really, really clean. I wouldn't mind either one. I saw the 4 a little bit more up close, and I actually really like that. That watch, I would probably get in black or silver. Same with the Classic. I think I was going to go with the silver look on the Classic and then get a red leather band for it. So if I am able to get it, I will probably get the Classic, of course, because that's the one that I most definitely want. But again, as always, you guys can support the channel. You guys already know. Shout out to the supporters with the Z Flip last year. Now, the Z Fold 3. We'll get into the Z Fold in a second. We're gonna get into the Z Fold in a second. The Z Flip in a second. Z Fold 3, however, 120 hertz refresh rate on cover screen and inside, so that's a good addition to see. Of course, it maintains a 7.8 when unfolded, so it's very tablet light, and now it has an eco display that's also 29% brighter. So not only were they able to improve the power consumption of the display, but now it also emits brighter. So that's a great sign to see. We know Samsung is like the king of display panels, them, LG and Sony. So it's good to see Samsung bringing that tech to their phones and really making it stand out. Now, one of the big things that we get to see with the camera on the inside unfolded is that now there's an under display camera, first to be official on the market, to be bought by the masses. We know that if not Realme, Xiaomi, I believe, or Huawei, one of those three or all three, had already, or Oppo, I think too, had already been experimenting with this with some of their phones in terms of the under display, but nothing went official to the masses like what Samsung is doing. So it's good to see that they're bringing that tech to the Z Fold 3, along with multi-dimensional speakers, as they call it. And I believe both speakers are either at the bottom of the Fold, or there's one on the bottom and one on top. And then of course the messages and calendars, apps like that. I believe the gallery as well is now optimized like tablets. So when you have it open, now instead of clicking on a message thread and it opens all the way up, now it's lined up on the side, kind of like Gmail. It's lined up on the side, and then it has all your categories or the calendar or the messages right here, or your pictures. And now you get to select from this side while it shows you everything on this side. So it's good to see them optimize their apps for a tablet like experience, something that we want to see across the board with products in general, apps in general. On the Android side, we'd love to see more tablet optimization for apps. And then of course, a recent app taskbar helps access apps faster, drag and drop files, and other info to other apps, kind of like a PC would. So with it unfolded, of course, you can drag and drop from your files over here to this side of the screen with whatever app you got going on over here. And I like that aspect. So they showed the example of Microsoft Word basically being able to copy from an email to a Word document or something like that. But I would imagine you could do the same thing, highlighting something maybe in a Google Keep Note or something, copying it, or just pressing and holding and dragging over, or even with files, right? Maybe you want to drag and drop from files over to Google Drive. Maybe that might be possible. I know I've tried on my tablet and I don't think I got it to work the way I thought I was going to. But no doubt, maybe just some updates. Maybe Google also needs to make that feature available. But it's good to see that it is available from Samsung's side. We also got water resistance. Now, not necessarily dust resistance, but water resistance, which is good. So IPX8, which is great. I like that. I'm sure other people like that. Now they won't have to feel as delicate with their fold devices. And the biggest addition is the S Pen, and they specifically or specially designed a digitizer that'll work with flexible display, and it's basically two digitizers working as one. And so that's how you can still write even within the crease of the fold and get a pleasurable experience. They also improved the rubber tip so that way it wouldn't damage the display, and it responds 40% faster. So they did a lot of improvements and justifications or adjustments to the S Pen for the fold, so that way they could bring a more note-like experience to the Z Fold 3. And I think that was actually pretty smart. I think that is something that we needed to see, especially if we're not getting a note anymore. Of course, I'm still sticking to that. It sounds like Samsung has been kind of sort of talking about it. They use COVID and the lack of components and stuff like that as a reason why they didn't push one out this year. I don't think they're gonna have one, especially if the Fold sells well with the S Pen, just like the S21 Ultra, I believe, did relatively well with the S Pen. I don't think we're gonna get it note anymore. I've been calling it for a while. But I don't think we're getting a Note series anymore. I don't think we need one, especially once they find a way to integrate the S Pen into the Fold. That might be the Fold 4 or a Note Fold. Now, I will accept the Note Fold because it's not necessarily a Note device as we know it to be anymore, because really the S Pen is what made the Note. So now with the S Pen being on the S series and now the Fold series or the Z series in some capacity, there's no need for the Note. Again, Samsung just loves dropping devices because they can, but just keep that in mind when considering or waiting on a Note device. All right, so they also increased the durability by 80%. So that's a big step up. Makes you question, well, how durable was the last Fold 2, right? And of course, the original Fold. Ooh, boy, oh boy. I did still kind of want to try that, but yeah, 80% is a big deal. And mainly that's because they're using armored aluminum for the framing and the hinge, and Gorilla Glass Victa on all the glass. So that's also good to see. We get Victa on the cover screen and inside, and that's what we needed to see for this, especially for it to go like even more mainstream. And the reason why they can do that is because the price has dropped. They did all these improvements, these adjustments, these upgrades, and they dropped the price from $19.99 to $17.99. So thank you. Like that's what we wanted to see with these folds. They don't need to be that expensive, and I imagine that even next year with the additional improvements and durability and likelihood that it will be more accepted by the masses, it's going to be accepted because the price continues to drop. I think next year they're going to drop the price another 200, and it's probably going to float closer around to, well, I think, yeah, next year they'll probably drop it at $15.99, or they'll do one more final drop at $14.99. And I think $14.99 will be the base minimum price for the Fold series going forward. I think $17.99 is still too expensive. It's a $200 drop, thank you. But I think they're gonna drop it one more time to $14.99, and then, you know, you're good to go. Now the pre-order for the Fold 3 and for the Flip, we're gonna get to the Flip soon. The pre-order for both the Z Flip 3 and the Z Fold 3, amazing. You get a free upgrade to the next level of storage. So the base for the Z Flip 3, we're gonna get to it in a second, but it's 128 gigs, and I believe the base for the Z Fold 3 is 256. So you already get a good amount of storage. You can get a free upgrade to the 512 gigs, just like that. And the way I was kind of looking at their pre-orders on the website, it almost looked like it was actually cheaper to get the upgraded storage, like by $50. So they really wanted to sell that model. They really wanted to accommodate consumers and customers this year. So if you guys are definitely interested in that, I would say take advantage of that deal. And of course you can trade in multiple devices and get the price as low as I think $1,000 or $1,100. So, you know, Samsung's doing their thing with pre-orders this year for the Z Fold 3. Now checking out the Z Flip 3, because you know I'm rocking that Z Flip 5G since last year. I have adored it. Even though I was using my S21 more than this, it was mainly because of the 120 hertz display and just how fluid using it was. Now Samsung has constantly pushed out some updates to it that has helped it be that much smoother as well, but you still notice 60 hertz. And the refinements of the device nonetheless is something that I've been looking forward to in terms of the Z Flip 3, and we're getting that. And I'm definitely going to be dropping a comparison between this and the Z Flip 3, as well as of course all the coverage on the Z Flip 3. But and spoiler alert, I'm getting the Z Flip 3. I mean, come on guys. All right, so what are we talking about in terms of the Z Flip 3? Well, one of the main things is a larger display. They say it's 4 times larger, and I guess, yeah, if you look at it, you know, blowing it up, but it went from 1.1 to 1.9, so if you did the math, it doesn't really necessarily seem like it's 4 times larger, but yeah, I mean, math these days, right? So we get a more operable cover screen for the Z Flip 3. You can get more full messages or full dialogue or notifications. You still kind of, you know, can't do anything from it in terms of responding, but at least you get more coverage in terms of what a message says, what a notification says, what a reminder says, what an alert says. And they have some nice, you know, neat, it looks to be like, if not live, wallpapers are always on display, like features for the cover screen. It looks like you can add like figures and whatnot to it. So they have improved the cover screen for the Z Flip 3, something that no doubt we're all excited for. In terms of the colors for both the Z Fold and Z Flip, they have a, well, the Z Flip has a cream color, but the Z Fold has the green, the black, and I think there's one more color, but the Z Flip 3 has cream, green, pink, phantom, black, white, and I think the pink, oh, and lavender, the pink and the white, and there's a gray also. Those are exclusive to the Samsung website, but it also takes like an additional 6 weeks Yeah, I think it was 5 to 6 weeks to actually get those. So if you wanted the white, the pink, or the gray, you had to wait another 6 weeks. The Z Flip also, the Z Flip and Z Fold go live August 27th. You can pre-order up until then. And again, crazy pre-order, you know, instant credit, you know, free upgrade to the storage for the Z Flip 3 as well. So keep that in mind if you did want another color outside of black, basically. And the cream is only available in 128 gigs so far, because every time I switch to 256, the only colors that are available is black, white, pink, and gray. So lavender and cream and green are exclusive to the 128 gig model. I wasn't expecting that, but of course I got the free upgrade to get the 256 gig storage. This one came with 256 gig storage last year. This device was also $1,400. The Z Flip last year that came in like the lavender gloss and like the black or blue gloss or whatever, midnight, whatever it's called, that came or started at like $1,200 last year. So it's nice to see that it went from $1,200 and $1,400 to $1,000 collectively for the Z Flip 3. Again, great improvement by Samsung to get that price down, along with the continued improvements and adjustments they made. Getting into the rest of them, of course, 35% faster Bixby. That was, to me, a random stat or a random mention, because Bixby really had no highlight otherwise. So for them to just randomly throw it in there with the Z Flip 3 and not even like the Fold, that was kind of funny. I use Bixby, but I don't use voice Bixby as often, or like I don't be like, hey Bixby, I don't do that as often. I like to simply press and hold the power button, and then I talk to Bixby, and then see, yeah. So that's how I use Bixby, and then I have my Bixby routine set up so that way when I use or activate Bixby via the power button, basically kind of sort of like Google Assistant, I can run a routine to shut everything down. So if I say, you know, good night, it'll shut off all my living room lights and my TV. And then I also use the Samsung's smart tag to also shut everything down if I don't feel like grabbing my phone. So I like having automation from that perspective. And then as I get to automate more, when we get out of an apartment, get home, and get to automate more things, that's what I'm definitely going to be doing, taking advantage of Bixby from that perspective. But it was interesting to see that they got a random honorable mention. And then widgets are available on front screen, as I was mentioning before. You get to do different things with the larger display now, which is good for the cover screen. And then flex mode has an auto framing feature when in groups, so they improved flex mode probably to also be a little bit more responsive, less jittery. I noticed, especially when you activate labs, or if you use good lock, you can, you know, basically do multi-window on all your apps when you're in flex mode. And so like it works for YouTube, especially because when you flex in YouTube mode, it'll, you know, push YouTube and everything up here, and then you can control, you know, skipping the video, pausing and playing the video, fast forward or scrubbing in the video in the lower half of the display. That's nice. But sometimes what can happen is, and I don't know yet because I don't have the Z Flip 3, but like let's say I just happen to open the device and then unlock it to get in, it'll act like I was just in flex mode and then, you know, return back to regular mode. So hopefully those type of optimizations are taking place with flex mode as well. But flex mode seems like it's definitely geared towards the camera. If I can say anything else, the camera and media based apps where you can pause and play. And then I'm sure in photos it might work similarly where you can respond to certain things. But what they did with labs for the Z Flip 3, and most likely it's going to be an update rolling forward, is that you can, you know, multi-window or flex mode all apps, but then this time at the bottom it has 4, you know, default options to choose from, you know, if you're probably not in an app that will utilize the actual flex mode. And I think it was like screenshot and a couple other ones, but that's also nice that they have kind of like a backup plan for those that may want to, you know, experiment with labs and flex mode all apps. I like that idea, Samsung there. Google Duo has hands-free chat, and of course this phone works especially well. And you could argue the Z Fold 3 as well works well with Google Duo as well, because being able to flex the phone and you can stand it up however you want it to. Most likely, you know, you're gonna fold it hot dog style as opposed to, no, hamburger style as opposed to hot dog, I guess, or just lay it on a table you know, folded that way. It's yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. And then one of the things that they also mentioned was One UI 3. Now, I did a video earlier, I won't say earlier, but yeah, early on, I would say maybe a month ago or so, talking about how Samsung isn't releasing One UI 3.5. They're releasing One UI 3.1.1, which is supposed to be a lot of optimizations, bug fixes, and improvements and stuff like that. So for them to be mentioning One UI 3, even though we're on the cusp of One UI 4, is interesting. And it seems like they revised One UI 3 for the Z Flip 3 specifically, because that's where they did a lot of the highlighting for One UI 3, and nonetheless the Z Fold 3. So I mentioned Lab, you can write instead of type in the search bar, which is an added addition to One UI 3. You can edit videos and pics with the S Pen. That'd be for the Z Fold 3. WhatsApp can be transferred with Smart Switch now. And then, as mentioned, the price got lowered to $1,000 for the Z Flip 3. Thank you. That was remarkable on Samsung's part. So keep that in mind when you're going to go for the Z Flip 3 or the Z Fold 3. Let me know down in the comment section below if you can. And on audio wise, of course, you can always come back to the visual if you want to, or follow me on Twitter and let me know your thoughts about the Z Flip 3, the Z Fold 3, the Galaxy Watch 4. Now, the last device that we're talking about here, we got the Galaxy Buds 2. One of the things I noticed with the Galaxy Buds 2 is that they are an addition to the Galaxy Buds Plus, not the Galaxy Buds Pro. So we see that Samsung also here is dividing their earbuds to distinguish between the two. So we didn't know if this was going to be an upgrade to the Pro, the OG Galaxy Buds, or the Galaxy Buds Plus, and now we know it is an upgrade to the Galaxy Buds Plus, which means that we probably won't get another Buds Plus model, meaning like a Galaxy Buds 2 Plus. I don't think we're gonna get that. I think the Galaxy Buds 2 is now the standard for the regular Galaxy Buds, and then we're gonna have the Pro series. So we'll get a Galaxy Buds Pro 2, probably, if not by the end of this year, early next year, much like the Pro was earlier this year. So I like that as well, because now it's not a bunch of different variables in terms of what buds do I buy. The Buds Plus was clearly an upgrade to the OG Buds, and it probably wasn't enough of an upgrade for them to establish a second gen model. But with these, they were. You see the design is different. They have a woofer and tweeter that really adds to the sound that we'll be able to enjoy. It does have ANC similar to the Buds Pro, but of course I don't think it's not as I don't want to say powerful, or clearly there's a difference between the 2 and the Pro, and I'll leave it there. Advanced call quality allows for the caller to still hear your voice despite noisy backgrounds. That's great. Active switch, something I definitely enjoy with the Samsung devices, well, at least my Buds Plus, is that when I'm using the Buds Plus on my tablet and then I pick up my phone, I start playing media on my phone, the Buds know that now I'm using another device and it'll automatically switch over. And this is all because they're linked to your Samsung account. So whatever Samsung device you have, as long as you logged into your device, the Buds will know when to switch. And there's a slight little delay, no doubt, and then sometimes it doesn't switch, so hopefully that also improves. But more times than not, I've had pleasurable experiences with the active switch feature, so it's good to see that will maintain with the Galaxy Buds 2. And then it says 20 hours with case and ANC on, so I'm imagining that there's multiple math scenarios. So if it's 20 hours with the case and ANC on, if ANC is on and you get the case, you either get 10 hours and you get 2 charges with the case, or you get 4 hours with ANC on and 5 charges with the case, or you get 5 hours with ANC on and 4 charges with the case. And I think it's the latter. I think it's probably 5 hours with ANC on and the case, or it's the first one I said, the very former. 10 hours with ANC on and 2 charges. That seems a little bit more, that makes more sense to me. So I like that. I probably won't use ANC as often because I use them more in home now than I do when I go out. And then when I go out, I don't mind hearing things fly, kind of go past me. So that way I can be aware of my back. Oh, I do use them if I go play basketball. I do use my headset then, and I don't mind ANC then. And I'm only out there for a couple hours, so I will use ANC feature for that from that perspective. But in terms of being in home, I like using ambient sound. And of course, they have tuned and improved ambient sound for all of their buds. So Samsung did a good thing here. $149. You can also pre-order these. I got these with my Z Flip 3 in the olive green color. I like that new touch. My Galaxy Buds Plus are red. May give them to the wife to use since I have the OnePlus. I keep saying OnePlus. I don't know why I keep saying OnePlus. The Galaxy Buds 2 are now in possession. They look a little different. Hopefully they still sit in the ear similarly to the Galaxy Buds Plus. I like the wingtips, so hopefully that didn't change because I can't remember if the Buds Pro also have a similar feature or not. So I don't know about that one. I don't know. I didn't pay as much attention to the form, the design of the Buds Pro, but I think they're arguably similar, the Pro and the second gen Buds. So let me know down in the comment section below as well if you guys like that, if you guys enjoy what Samsung has done this year with the new devices, and even overall with the S series and the Pro series, the Galaxy Buds Pro series. What are you guys' thoughts about Samsung in general? Have they been doing a good job trying to accommodate, trying to move with recent events like the pandemic and everything? Have they been trying their best to lower prices or give us better trade-in value that we should already get? By the way, we should already get great trade-in value because we pay so much money for these devices anyway, that we should already receive good trade-in value. But the fact that they're now putting in that effort, to me, I like that. I do like that. I do feel like we could have got more trade-in value for the Galaxy Z Flip, for the Flip 3. I definitely believe that. I think they gave me as much as $600 for my trade-in for the Z Flip 3, and given that I spent well, not me, but whoever hooked up spent $1,400 on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should at least get half the value back. It's only been a year. Now, granted, you don't know the condition it's coming in, but they do give two options: a good condition and a cracked edition. So if you had a crack, I could see you losing value there. But if yours is still in great condition like mine, despite taking that inner little screen protector off, by the way, I've kept her in great shape, you should be able to get at least 50% back. I think $700 is more than reasonable. And then, much like they did with the S series earlier, you could have just given everybody who's experimented and given your foldables a shot, give them remarkable trade-in value, give them tremendous trade-in value for the next one, for rocking and being experimented on with their tech, right? The S series, they gave us up to $700 trade-in credit for the S20 for the $800 S21, so you only pay $100. They could have ran that same thing back with the Z Flip and the Z Fold. So, but I'm not mad. I'm still not mad. I was able to actually trade this in and get $600 worth of trade-in credit, and then I traded in a bunch of my watches I don't wear no more. I tried to trade them or sell them outside, but no one's responded to them yet. So that's what I did. I traded in 3 watches and my Z Flip for the Z Flip 3. I'm keeping this band because this is what I find myself wearing more often now. My Galaxy watch I don't wear as much. It's a little too bulky. I like my Active 2, but I'm trading that in as well because I dinged it. I got a hair of a scratch that bugs the life out of me. I'm getting rid of my Active 2, and then the Gear S3, the OG watch, the Gear S3 Frontier, saying goodbye to as well because of the bulk. I like what they did with the Galaxy Watch 3 and the Galaxy Watch 4, slimming those down. So I am interested in those 3 watches, but the ones I'm getting rid of. Now, I did enjoy the Active 2 size as well, but it's just that hairline scratch just bugs me. So all of it's getting traded in to get the Z Flip 3 that I'll probably rock for a while. I've enjoyed this, but now with 120 hertz on the Z Flip 3, what? And the refinements to the design, the armor aluminum and all that type of stuff, that's what I'm looking forward to. I do like the frosted approach on the on the framing. I wish they maintained the frost on for the color as well, but I think it's all glossy. The black one I think is glossy as well, but it would be nice to be surprised with a frosted black, and that would be a nice surprise. But I did get the black color, very close to the white, but I couldn't wait that long. So that's what I'm looking at. The white would have hidden fingerprints and stuff like that. Now I got to contend with having fingerprints on the device. Unlike this, you can't see nothing. So I'm mad that they left the frost, and I'm gonna be mad because watch the colors that we got this year for these phones. And the watches for that matter. Watch we get a red. Watch. I would say give it a month or two after release, late September, early October. Watch Samsung drop a red or blue for either of them. For any of them, we're gonna get a red or a blue. You know, that's what happened with the Galaxy Buds Plus, right? If you got those earlier, I believe they didn't have the red color because I had waited to grab them. I waited on my credit because you had some time or something like that. I forgot what I did there, but they dropped the red color outside of the launch window or outside of launch, and that's how I got the red Galaxy Buds Plus. So they're gonna do something the same with the watch, and I'm gonna be mad too because I really would have wanted red. That would have been nice. And surprisingly this year, I didn't hear or see them say that you could customize your hinge color like you could with the Z Fold 2. So let me know if anybody pre-ordered the Z Fold 3 and if you could customize the hinge color, because I didn't see that as part of the Galaxy Unpacked event. So that's also interesting to take note of. But those are my thoughts for today. I just want to keep this exclusive. Maybe I'll come back and talk about the Pixel series when that comes out. The Pixel series looks good. I like what they did with the 5A dropping that. Got Team Pixel growing. One day I will be a part of it. But it gets all the hype started for the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, which also looks good and is bringing great specs and putting Google in a great place in the smartphone market. So those are my brief thoughts on the Pixel stuff. I'm looking forward to that. I may even drop a video on the Pixel 3a XL, what started all of this really for Google. I might drop that. So let me know down in the comments below if you guys would be interested in that as well. But that is it for this video. Hope you guys appreciate and enjoyed it. Again, as always, this is the Visual and Audio Podcast, catching the audio on your favorite podcast platform and the visuals right here on YouTube. Again, hit the like button, subscribe to either platform, both YouTube and your podcast platform, and hit the notification bell on both so that way you never miss my videos. It's your man Vrsatile signing out, and until the next video, we're officially closed.